Hello everyone. The HTC RE originally released 10 years ago. At the time, this was one of my favorite point-and-shoot digital cameras. But how well does it hold up nearly a decade later? Let's find out. What originally drew me towards this camera was the ease of use. Because of its cylindrical design, it's ergonomic as hell. It's as if this hand grip was converted into its own camera. The problem with all of these modern boxy cameras is that they're not meant to be handheld. When I start holding them, the corners start digging into my flesh. It gets unpleasant really fast. The HTC RE, on the other hand, is meant to be used handheld. Another thing is that this camera only has two buttons, one under the lens here, and one on the back. Except this one on the back is pretty much the primary button that you're always going to be using. There's very few opportunities to be using this button, which is only to activate slow motion. There isn't even an on-off button. This camera is meant to stay on 24/7. That might seem strange, but it's because it's meant to be used at a moment's notice. Unlike any other camera, where you have to sit out the boot screen, this thing is instantly ready to take a photo. There's only two things that you can do with the button. You press for a photo, or you hold for video. Now there is a notification LED on the top and on the front here, but usually I just use audio cues to determine what I'm doing. You can also adjust the volume from off, soft, and loud in the app. To record slow motion, all you do is hold the button. The notification LED will be blue on both the front and the rear, and you just hold it to record slow motion video. The app is extremely simple as well. All I do is open the app. I don't even need to adjust or turn on or off Wi-Fi on the camera side. All I need to do is open the app and it's instantly connected. Now yes, sometimes it's buggy and it doesn't connect. It does happen. It's very frustrating when that occurs, but for the most part, it's made to be very simple. I'm in a live preview. You have access to your photo, a video, and time-lapse. In the top right, there's a gear icon. You can adjust your camera settings, resolution. They call this ultra wide angle, but if you toggle this off, it will enable fisheye correction. The only thing I don't like about using this device is that the only way to power off the device is through the app. I don't like that. It just means that this thing is on all the time, and I'm just wasting electricity. I still think this camera beats out others in terms of ease of use, even now. So, while this camera still holds up in terms of usability, the main thing about cameras is image quality. Let's see how that holds up. So here's some video from this thing. My god, it is horrible. It feels like I'm drunk. The video stabilization and the linearization are fighting one another, resulting in this extreme background distortion. The resolution isn't that great, and worst of all, it's extremely unstable. With linearization off, it's a little bit better, but it's still not that great. I find dynamic range to be pretty lacking. The sky is overblown while the rocks are underexposed. You can forget about having any sort of sunset videos. Oh yeah, it doesn't handle wind noise all that well either. Here's a stabilization stress test with uneven stairs. It fails pretty badly. I enjoy the time lapses that this thing can create, but once again it's hindered by that poor dynamic range. The sky was far more vibrant than this, and the mountains in the back are completely underexposed. This has a 720p 4x slow motion, but it's so grainy that I never use it. I usually don't talk about photos in my reviews. That's because usually there isn't anything to talk about. For the most part, these cheap digital cameras just take a screenshot from their video and call it a day. But photos on the HTC RE demonstrate how capable the lens is, and further demonstrates how terrible the video quality is. Detail-wise, I think the photos are still pretty decent today. Unfortunately, they still suffer from poor dynamic range. Photos also need a lot of lighting in order to look well. So you might notice that this thing doesn't have a live viewfinder. And yes, it doesn't. And that is a problem. I don't care how good you think you are at pointing and shooting. If you use this thing as intended, you will have a couple photos turn out rotated relative to the horizon. One of the problems of this device being 10 years old is battery degradation. I assume that all HTC RE devices suffer from this. I don't remember how long this device originally had, but nowadays it only lasts 30 minutes of continuous 1080p video. That's not very good. If I'm being honest here, there's no real reason to buy this thing nowadays. The only thing it's good at are the photos, and even still, literally everybody has a better point-and-shoot digital camera in their pocket right now. This thing is completely outclassed. It's a shame because I still think that the lens holds up quite well. It's just limited by this processor that can't stabilize video, and it can't take photos with good dynamic range. It's just completely useless.